You on, Gia?
Yes. No.
Look at it, looks amazing.
Hey everyone, welcome to Maegical Mind and Soul, Living Without a Script. My name's David. I'm here with my lovely wife Megan and the incredibly talented Richard. We could not be more grateful and excited to be able to come together. Finally, it's a seed that's been planted in our hearts, each of us, ironically, for a very long time. To be able to find a way to be of our best service for the Most High and to really give back. And that's what we want to do with Maegical Mind and Soul. There's a lot of incredible topics. We have endless amounts of ideas we're going to be talking about down the road. And our goal here is just to spread light, give different perspectives, and just kind of share with every one of you, what our experiences are. And
Here we are.
And it's live, so it's going to be live. Every episode is going to be live, so bear with us.
You're right, absolutely. Surprise.
Yeah, absolutely.
Love it, love it, yes.
So we're so excited. We have a lot of cool topics today, but as it is the first episode, what we wanted to do was kind of give a chance for each person just to introduce themselves, give a quick recap of their background, a little bit about what they've been through, and what led them here. I am so grateful to be able to first introduce Richard Cisneros, incredibly gifted, beautiful psychic medium.
Amazing.
Yes,
He's amazing.
This guy's amazing. We're all amazing. I mean, I'm so happy. We've talked about this for years, and my spirit has, directed me, this is going to happen, so this is it. We're on. Give you a little bit about myself, guys. Richard is a psychic medium. Mediumship is my forte, guys. As some of the people that know me, follow me out there, I really appreciate your support. First of all, one thing real quick is that a lot of people said, well, did you learn mediumship, Richard, or this or that? As a kid, I could always listen all the time. Yeah, as a little kid, I didn't have the fear factor there, David and Megan.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what's so cool about it. So natural for me. And then throughout the years, growing, saying, I don't want this. Yes, I do want this. I don't know. It's a curse. I just want to be normal. I came to a realization, and I had this spiritual experience here that throughout my years, there was a surrender to returning back to who I have always been.
That's beautiful.
That is amazing.
And here we are. Mediumship, briefly what it is, communicating with spirit people on the other side, loved ones who have crossed over. You see, spirit never dies, guys. It's eternal.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing.
Isn't that
about
comforting?
It.
It's so comforting to know that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I clearly hear clairaudience, but for people who know a little bit about mediumship or communication with spirit world, is that I have all clairs. I'm clearly able to see. I'm clearly able to also to listen and also sense spirit. Yeah.
Nice.
So it's me returning back to original purpose and my divine purpose.
Oh, you're definitely fulfilling your purpose, 100%.
Yeah.
Anyone that has worked with Richard, it's just a mind-blowing experience.
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Likewise. Appreciate it.
And it's also comforting because for me, because I had to experience it myself, and I'm glad that I was open up to do that and to use my own discernment to understand that it's not bad and it is of the light, and that, I was always brought up that, that sort of thing, you're opening yourself up to darkness, and it's not the case. You really can talk to your loved ones.
Absolutely. I mean, that's one of the things throughout the years and in the religion we've seen that people have either heard God talk to them, spirit, angels come to them, same thing. Different word, different terminology.
That's such a massive point, and we're actually going to hit on that more later because one of the big things that we want to do, even for the collective especially, there's so much conditioning, and I'm glad you guys brought that out right off the bat because we're also, whether we know it or not, programmed and conditioned in certain ways, and one of them is that thought that psychics aren't good, which there's always light and dark, but there's so much good.
Right.
There's so much good that can come from it, and it's been a beautiful. My experience, me and myself experiencing it has been so beautiful.
Yes.
Meeting you and being able to communicate
Only led
with.
to amazing things that are for my highest good and the highest good of all, and
Absolutely. Yes.
life changing. To be quite honest, I mean that is literally where my life took a turning point.
Yep.
You know, 100%.
So we're so appreciative of your service and you
Yeah.
being here. And what's going to be so cool, we're going to be able to bring so many different concepts here. And having someone with his experience, you're going to hear it right from the horse's mouth, and people that are experiencing it with him. So we're so grateful to have you here as part of the team.
And to be able to have the option where, you know, in future shows where people can actually call in.
Yeah, you guys can call in.
And I mean,
Looking forward
you
to
guys
that.
are going to be
Absolutely.
so impressed by this guy. He's amazing.
It's like names that there's no way you can know. It's amazing.
Yeah.
But there's going to be a lot of interaction and interactive opportunities on our show too as we go on. Which
I gotta say one funny thing. I remember years ago, I had a session with Richard. And that's when I very much cared what other people thought. And he mentioned, oh yeah, you like the wacky tobacco. And I was mortified. And I was like, oh my God, like I can't hide anything from this man. So he really knows. He really knows. I just had to say that because it's just a funny moment that I look back to.
Yeah, you know, one of the things, Megan, that I heard where you talked about life. You know, everybody lives a certain way, a certain belief, a certain way that they're taught to be. One thing that, you know, some people use, in shows we use scripts. And so
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Here, this is my script, guys.
No script.
No
Living
script.
without a script.
There it is.
Yeah.
No script at all.
And live, so.
Yeah. It's everything we say.
Going with the flow.
That's right.
Living from the heart.
Yes.
Living from the heart.
That's the key thing, yeah.
Yep.
You know, one of the, here now, if I have the pleasure now of introducing David.
Oh,
Yes.
myself, yeah, for sure. I appreciate that.
Yes.
A lot of you listening may or may not know me. My name's David Staub. I give you my quick background. I had a short stint in the Marine Corps, went to Virginia Military Institute, was on a very specific path, but things changed, and now looking back, I see how things changed for the better. I've always worked in industry that had connecting with people, and I've always had an ability and a gift to connect with people and speak.
Definitely. You're very gifted with that.
And before my spiritual awakening, I got a minute, and we'll all have an episode where we'll go deep into our stories, but just to give you a high-level recap, you know, a large part of my life, I was deep in addiction, specifically binge drinking. I was very successful with what I did work-wise, but my personal life was in shambles because I was big into binge drinking. I couldn't have one or two. It had to be 50, and it had to be...
Yeah.
And she saw the tail end of it.
Train wreck.
But
Successful train wreck.
But I was big into addiction, big into drinking. It was definitely my downfall. And I tried all of the world's ways. I did. I tried outpatient. I tried inpatient. I tried those stupid pills they give you. I tried AA. And I want to make it clear, if that works for someone, that's perfectly great.
Wonderful, yeah.
Do whatever works for you. But nothing of the world actually worked for me. It actually wasn't until I met this lovely lady here, Megan. She introduced me to meditation. She introduced me to the power of affirmations.
Affirmations are magical.
She introduced me to gratitude writing. And something I will be eternally grateful for, she was a catalyst for a relationship with my Creator, with God within myself. She helped me with that relation. I never had a relationship with God growing up. I always saw him as this external thing, this freaking weird man in the sky that just judged people, because that's what we're conditioned into, right? So I never really got it. And once I established, once I established that relationship with my Creator, once I worked on my mindset. And on a different note, which we'll go into more of that another time, psychedelics were very, very positive.
Big part, huge.
Psychedelics were a very beautiful, positive experience for me. And it's been 6-7 years. I haven't drank. It literally is not even a thought, and I can be around it perfectly fine because I took the time not to go without, but go within.
Right.
Go within my mind, give it, and understand there's something greater than me that's at work. And I've got to give credit to psychedelics and plant medicine.
Yeah.
Medicine.
I watched psychedelics become a huge part of that healing.
Oh yeah, and I was healed from psychedelics, plant medicine, and that internal relationship with my Creator. creator. And Megan was just a beautiful, incredible, otherworldly catalyst for that. And since then, I run a business, an ADT dealer. A lot of my employees are watching. I love them all to death. The purpose of the business is develop and empower people. And we launched Maegical, which is a seed that we were given years ago.
We've had the LLC for a long time, y'all.
Yeah, Maegical's mission is to heal the entire world. One mindset and soul at a time, and here we are building it now. And
here we are.
Next is my beautiful wife Megan. We'd love to hear a bit of your story.
Hello. So I will make this as short as I can because my story is a little long. So we'll definitely save that for another episode. But I unfortunately endured horrific childhood abuse at a very young age.
All different kinds.
Molestation. I was beaten. It was horrific stuff, told that he was going to kill my mom. I mean, just horrible things. He was an alcoholic, and he would get drunk and then pull me out of the house to get in the car so we could drive around the neighborhood and act like he was going to drive off cliffs and into it was horrible, I remember one time I was going to school at 7:30 in the morning, and I was excited because I was going to go to a slumber party or something. And I got the hiccups on the way to school, and this is the mild of his meanness. And he told me that I wasn't allowed to go to that slumber party, and I started bawling my eyes out. And then he was laughing, saying, "Oh, well, you don't have the hiccups anymore," And I was about to go start my day at school in elementary, and and then I dealt with sexual stuff again with another male family friend. Then in college, I was engaged, but he was not the right person, obviously. So I'm glad it didn't work out, but he physically beat me as well. I've just had trauma after trauma, even into, young adulthood, finally meeting my father that I'd never known, and then it becoming real weird, like a genetic sexual attraction type deal, where he became very possessive and fell in love with me in a sense. It was weird, and I'm not going to go any more in depth on that, but I've been through a lot in my life. It's like a Lifetime movie, and then sequel after sequel after sequel. And, I lived in the victim mindset forever. And, I was always actually in the wrong place at the wrong time. All the time. I attracted a horrible man after the next. I was in this lower frequency, and I wasn't even aware of it. I didn't know there were universal laws. I didn't know about the law of attraction. I didn't know about any of them. I was also raised in a home, and my family's amazing, but I was raised in a home, very religious, and but it is kind of fear-based. It is.
Very fear-based.
And I mean, that's the hardest part of it.
Yes.
Just being afraid, oh my God, I don't want to go to hell. I don't want to do anything wrong. And, the thing that was an icebreaker for me, trauma-wise, is I had an abortion, and I had big regrets with that. It was very hard on me, and it was the thing that propelled all my chronic illness. It was like a light switch. So my 21st birthday is when it happened. So it was like a light switch, and all of a sudden chronic illness started just overcoming my body, my entire body. Gut problems. I'm allergic to every kind of food you can imagine. It's crazy. Or I was. I've done a lot of healing, but I realized that trauma, suppressed trauma, because I disassociated at a young age, that will create physical sickness in your body.
Absolutely.
And I had insomnia my whole life. It's just progressed. I would look distended, like I was pregnant. I mean, it was insane. And then all of a sudden my joints were popping out all the time. I couldn't work out anymore, and that was the thing that kept me sane, was working out. It was like a healthy addiction, I would work out, and it helped me. And then I wasn't able to work out anymore, and that was taken from me. For 5 years, I couldn't work out because I'd wake up, and if I worked out, even yoga, my joints would pop out of place. If I woke up from my sleep, I'd have 3 ribs dislocated. That took 8 weeks to recover. All these things.
Yes.
But long story short, kind of like you, I attracted plant medicine. Well, let me back up. First, I attracted a book that changed my life because it taught me about meditation and affirmations. And again, I was heavily conditioned that stuff was bad and that it would open up to bad things. But I was living paycheck to paycheck. I had no money. I was very gifted at all my jobs, but I was never paid what I was worth, ever. And it was just lower frequency stuff. And the moment that I was like, you know what, I'm at the end of my rope. If there's a 1% chance that this could work, I didn't really believe in it either. I was like, this is hocus pocus, you know. But if there's that 1% chance, it's worth me trying it. And it changed my life. I became working in an environment where I was making 6 figures, and like I attracted my soulmate, my twin flame, all these things. And when I used affirmations on healing, I started attracting all these modalities that help me heal. You know, ayahuasca, I mean, that was like an exorcism. It was horrible, but the outcome was amazing because it was a strong dose mixed with 5-MeO-DMT. When I did ayahuasca alone, it didn't do much for me, but the 5-MeO-DMT, woo, that was a whole different ballgame.
Another episode.
We'll do an episode on that.
Ketamine infusions.
So on that.
Ketamine infusions, mushrooms. Wow. Mushrooms are profound, especially after you've done ayahuasca and ketamine, and then you start the mushrooms affect you very differently, and they're even more magical.
Right.
You know, so that's long story short. You know what I'm about. Like, food is medicine or it's toxic. Absolutely. You know, plant medicine is medicine. You know, we're conditioned to like fear the things that actually are like good for us and are going to heal us. It is insane.
Yes, that is.
You know,
addictions, real, all these things. It's crazy.
You know, fear stands out when you said fear. One of the things that, and I believe that's our topic today. We're going to talk about self-sabotage, self-deception. You know, and so forth.
That's a huge part of it.
Absolutely.
And first off, you know, and I think a lot of people out there can resonate with this. We got to thank you for sharing all that because one of the things.
I try to keep it as short as I can.
Yeah, that could go on for hours because of her stories. It's amazing what she's been through and how far she's come. But that being said, that's a testament. And what's important for us is for anyone out there listening, not just you, but for anyone you know, to know that there is hope. No matter what you're going through. And the difficult part.
And that you have the power to heal yourself or attract the things that will heal you. In my experience, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with conventional medicine. And I've been to, like at this point, thousands of all kinds of doctors.
Sure.
But we are very powerful.
Yep, absolutely.
We're living examples of that. You go through so many different phases and traumas and things in your life. But we're living examples that you can transcend this, guys, no matter how chaotic.
No matter what.
David talked about addiction. I've done that, been there, you know. And then even when I started my spiritual practice, it was a transition one thing to another. Yeah. And then even there, years later, I spiraled down back into it. Now, if I can say this, you know, those addictions, I stepped away into the point in my particular life that I'm living now. I don't have the even desired even for a drink.
Yeah,
right.
It just
Neither
left me. Even it leaves you.
It will leave you.
And that's another topic, another. You know, we're definitely going to share a lot of these techniques that Spirit has also given us. Collectively. Yep. That's why we're here, guys. Mission statement, anything. We're going to be sharing what we received as things that has helped us transcend to come to this point here in this moment now. Especially, guys, here. Right now, there's so much fear, so much trauma,
so much fear.
So many things are coming into. Collectively, this is the shift in the consciences and the perspective and the way of living has changed. That is fact.
Yep.
We can believe something or we cannot believe another thing. But one thing is, though, there is an opportunity equally because we are that living proof of that opportunity that we took individually. We came back into attending to ourselves, guys. If anything you can do today, treat yourself and attend to yourself. You guys, you here are attending to you by listening to us, taking time to listen for something that's going to touch your heart and utilize knowledge, utilize the word and energy in the undercurrent that's going to help you in the system. That's why we're decided to do it, not individually, but collectively. This is what's so magical about it.
That's beautiful. And what that one part of what he said is understand if you're listening to this, you're listening to it for a reason. There are certain words or certain lessons or certain phrases you're supposed to hear that are part of your journey that it's important to integrate into your life. But we'll get more into that too as we go on. The last thing I wanted to mention before we get into actually what we're talking about today is I can't reiterate enough of removing the fear-based mindset because we are so conditioned to fear the things that will help us. Megan spent
And that's
most of her
like
life
the
in
worst
that.
thing we can do.
Me too. I love my family to death, nothing against them, but the majority of them are very fear-based too, which is why there's a big divide there right now. And, you know, it is what it is. There's no judgment there. Just I want everyone out there to know that, you know, go within and understand that we are conditioned to fear the things like plant medicine, psychedelics, guidance from spiritual mentors like Richard. Like it's mind-blowing. And once you experience it for yourself,
absolutely,
that's what you go off of, your experience.
That's the key, though, is that everything that I'm going to be talking about, we are going to be talking about, are things that we have experienced. It's not because someone told me, plant medicine's where it's at. It's because I experienced it.
Absolutely.
So everything that we are going to talk about is based on our experience.
Our experience only. It's nothing we read out of a book. It's nothing that someone told us.
Yes.
It is purely our direct experience is the only thing that we will be speaking upon.
And it's always been so profound for me to be like, wow, I have to take this and share this with the world.
Absolutely.
Yep.
It gets to the point that we're receiving so much and we are in so much gratitude that we want to share this with everyone because everyone has that opportunity. No matter where you are in your life right now, there is something even beyond what you're thinking or creating the future. Even that, whatever scenario you're creating in mind, we're here for a greater reason beyond our reasoning, guys. I think just simply said, I know. By personal experience, you know, so
that's awesome.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
Absolutely, thank you.
Yeah, that was great. Just threw me off. That was so good. Gotta love a live show.
And we're living without a script.
Yeah, that's right.
Everything, guys. That one thing, if I may say here quickly, and then we're going to get into the topic and subject of today's episode. One thing that I realize is that, you know, we often think of what to say, and we often think we think that that's a process of mind. That's what it does. But one thing is here, if we take time to listen, it's not to disregard what they're thinking, because there's certain aspirations and ideas and creativity that comes from the thinking. But one thing that I can personally, in my personal way, that shifted for me, and it became a way of living, is to pay attention to what you feel. Very few people actually express what they feel. They're always thinking and actually living what they're thinking instead of living from the heart. You see, that's one of the key things. This is part of the show, because the show within itself, everything we say to you guys is going to come from the heart.
Yes.
That's right.
We're not thinking what to tell our audience. Like before the show here today, we just chose a simple topic. Okay, for everything that's going to be said is coming from the heart, inspiration from the spirit, from our higher selves, and that's the beautiful thing it is. You know, a lot of people use it; it's very organic, and that's important.
Yep.
You see that what you feel, please speak it out.
That's right.
That's where you start stepping back into your truth, into your power, attending to you.
That's right.
Instead of trying to think or also believe that, I have to respond back because of how that person is going to accept me.
Yeah.
Please, guys.
Don't even get me started on that.
That's exactly one of the things, and that's so the feeling part. The feeling part is so important because, and this is so much of what Megan and I teach, and that we've also learned is the feeling. That's how we create thoughts and feelings. I know that's a whole nother topic too, but you were so correct.
Energy.
Healing also is all about the feeling. You have to go back and feel it to heal it and to release it.
If you're feeling something, it's important to control your thoughts, but that feeling is what's going to create.
Absolutely.
So, but yeah, what we're going to talk about today is really there's overarching one topic of living your most authentic life, self-sabotage. A lot of people are caught up in these self-sabotaging cycles, and they don't even realize it. And it's for a number of reasons, whether it's conditioning for fear of judgment, whether it's not being true to themselves, a bunch of different reasons.
Caring what other people think.
Caring what other people think.
I lived that life.
We're
for
heavily
a long
conditioned into that. But really, you know, self-sabotaging and self-deception also. Some really big topics there. And I guess the first one, we were just talking about this, so I'll roll back to it because I think it's so important to point out, because we're so conditioned into this the aspect of caring so much
Oh my
what
gosh.
other people think.
That
We
literally ruled my life.
So we're conditioned
It did.
into fearing fearing other people's judgment, and that holds us back in so many ways. And I want to turn it to both of you because what I found interesting, I know both of your situations and what you've dealt with to an extent,
Yes.
and I've seen a full transformation in your mindset. But I want to ask, and I'll get to you in a second. I want to ask Richard first because what we spoke about earlier. Caring what people were so conditioned to care what other people think, and that keeps people away from being their true selves, being authentic to who they are. And I'm so curious, Richard, because being a psychic medium, there's so much fear-based BS conditioning out there that keeps people away from you when you've done such incredible guidance for so many people that they won't even take that. Someone that is ill or in a bad place in their life, they'll just stay in a bad place in their life, even though if they're getting guided to have a conversation because of their either society, family, whatever it's conditioned beliefs.
Oh, yeah.
How have you dealt with that being the person that they're conditioned against, and how have you overcome it?
Sure, absolutely. One of the things, first of all, I didn't have to deal with it because it came to the realization that it had nothing to do with me.
That is powerful.
Boom!
It had to be back to the person.
Yep.
It was that perspective.
Nailed
that
it.
Belief. You understand that? So throughout the years, yes, I would be a witness of what the person was reacting or something that I did or something that was bringing to the table. The only thing that what I do every day, and I aspire to even improve from that, and is to bring the best of what I am, and that's the key.
Yep.
Yes. Anything else is a compliment.
Yep.
Yes. And the key thing is here in anything we do, guys, and that's what it is. So they came to that point.
That's amazing.
I'm going to go back a little bit to. It's not that it didn't bother me at the beginning. Sometimes they'll say, "God, you're evil."
Right. What a
Yeah.
freaking thing to say.
Demonic.
Yes, it says here in the Bible, and this and that. Not to get into religion and stuff like that, because I admire all religions.
Yeah.
Because they serve a purpose, a greater purpose, even beyond my reasoning, guys. That's very important. I want to say that. But one thing I did come to that point, I realized that has nothing to do with me.
That's right.
You see, and that's a great thing that every day, and somebody is critical of what we do or how we live. And if it resonates with it, because it's all energy, guys. This is all energy.
Everything
and if
is
it's, they project something or they say something, and either one thing you can do, you can respond or be reactive.
Mm-hmm.
Responding is being just a witness of what they said, and then you realize that has nothing to do.
That's
with
such. I really want to reiterate his point there because this is such a powerful point to take away. He said it has nothing to do with me. Think of the psychology of that statement. If someone's telling you this person's bad, this person's evil, do this, do that, or you're bad for doing this, it's not you. It is that person's internal issues and problem. It is not you at all. It has nothing to do with you. Don't take that dark. Can you imagine having gifts and hearing things and getting guidance and having these spiritual gifts and it leading you to good, and then someone that doesn't have any of those sees those gifts or hears about them and calls you evil for it? Could you
But
imagine
check
that?
this out. Like the person that is telling you, that judging you, for going to a psychic medium, right?
Right.
It's like, have they ever been to one? Oh, no.
No, of course
but,
not.
But why? Because someone told me it's
Yep,
bad. They
yep.
told me to that, but they didn't experience it for themselves.
Exactly.
What about people wanting us to believe the things that are good for us are bad for a reason?
Right.
You should always question everything and
Question
go within and
everything.
use your own discernment.
Absolutely.
The best, the best method of
yes.
control, fear. The best method
Yes.
of control is
And
fear.
divide, fear and divide.
And divide.
Yeah.
Yes.
So thank you for sharing
Yeah,
that.
in fear itself, guys, we've known this, that, we can be at our house and in our home, and our mind takes us to fear something. We're still at home.
Yep.
It cannot, and we can create and believe that. So what is actually happening is that if something, where we're at, and there's nothing that's really attacking us, unless there's a lion attacking us, a dog, a vicious.
In the moment, there's nothing actually happening.
Nothing happening, guys. So who are we deceiving? That's self-deception.
Ah, that's good.
By believing that fear, that's really truly an illusion, and it's just merely an impression of the mind. So who Are we lying to? It starts where we're lying to or deceiving ourselves by believing that exists. So it starts with our guys.
Yep.
And if
Be
people
aware of
realize
it.
how powerful
Absolutely.
their thoughts
Yes.
and feelings were, I guarantee you they would put them in check. But most people
Absolutely.
really don't understand
It's
that.
energy.
Yeah.
You know, we have the
When you
capacity.
focus, it's
Yep.
gonna flow.
We
Yep.
have the capacity also. So the self-deception is very interesting in itself. Throughout the years, here I came to the point that I started, seeing people that they wouldn't express what they were actually feeling. They were more thinking of what to say, and that was not really what they are. You see, they weren't expressing. You know, and anything that's one of the things that I've learned. I'm sharing this. If you want to apply this, if it applies to you, please do this. When you're in front of a person, if somebody says something to you, and if you feel comfortable with it, please speak out.
Yep.
Speak out. Speak your truth.
Speak your
Okay,
truth.
then and there, because then and there, now you're not thinking. If you hear something that you don't feel comfortable with, then and there, at the moment, as the moment is, please let them know. You see, so you transcend it.
Right.
You don't put it there or
Yes.
you suppress it, and later on you start thinking about it. I should have said something. How many
Yep.
times does that happen, guys?
Yeah.
Oh, I should have said something. Why didn't I speak out? Oh my God! And you see, then that creates something that shouldn't be in your space.
Yeah.
Or you know, and it creates and see something in your mind. And then when we see the other person, then you say, you know what? Maybe 2-3 days later, then you say, I didn't like what you said. Does it matter anymore now?
Right.
Right.
The moment
You
passed.
see, so
Right.
you see, the self-sabotage, self-deception is that if you don't speak your truth at the moment, that is.
Yeah.
Speak your truth as how you feel it, not how you think of it.
That's
You know, a lot
good.
of people, you know, I've run into people say, "Oh, I speak my mind." I said, "Really? Do you?" Yeah. Well, I think of what it's saying. Well, that's not speaking. You are speaking your mind. You're not speaking from the heart.
That's
Right.
right.
Yeah,
Which is quite different.
That's
Quite
different.
Speaking
Because
right, yeah.
when you speak from the heart, that person has a greater understanding also of the interacting of what you're saying, and there's a resonance of energy that you go, "Wow!" And both people will go, "Wow, that makes sense." And there'll
Yeah.
be that point of that. There's a resonance of understanding between of what is said, what there's done. It's also actions, guys.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Just a little simple little thing of how we can look, and throughout the day, please do is observe. Be a witness for yourself of what you do. For example, you inspire something to me. My personal experience, maybe we're talking about personal experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, about self-deception. I know I need to go walk. Okay, I don't do it. And I tell myself, I'm going to do it sooner or later. Who am I lying to?
Yourself.
I'm deceiving myself.
Yeah.
Okay, so now the only thing that I can do and to how can I work on myself and not deceive myself of what I'm thinking is that actually put my tennies on and go walk. You see?
Yep.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
And
But
you can
it's-
always make time for it. People always think, "Oh, I don't have time to meditate. I don't have time to do this," and it's like actually you
Yeah.
can make that time.
Yes, and what happens when you actually
So
do
you
that?
should go walk.
When you actually pay attention. Yes, exactly. And please, guys, encourage me to go.
You got it.
Please, that's another thing.
It texts you at
see,
6 a.m. Go
yeah,
walk.
Have
yeah.
you gone on your walk yet?
That's sort of agreement of here, Magical Mind, and so that we have agreed that if even among us, if we feel something or uncomfortable or something's in the mind, we speak it out.
Yeah.
That's an agreement.
Megan tells me
Imagine
all
we
the
do
time.
that collectively.
Yeah, I have no problem telling David.
Megan has no problem telling me when there's
I'm
something
quite
wrong.
good at this.
So you understand? Imagine if you witness that and then you attempt to do it as much as you understand it and ask how it is. It's very simple, guys. It's real simple. You do it day by day, and you're attending to yourself. And that the self-deception, you're no longer deceiving yourself. And then what it opens up to you being the truth that you have always been. And then Spirit steps in, God Creator, Father, Mother, God, God or God, whatever that may be to you guys. What it's going to do, it's going to also be there so that you can be willed by that greater will.
Yep.
Truth,
I love
no
that.
longer
Yep.
deception.
That was awesome. That's a great
I
explanation.
don't know where
Speaking
that's
your
coming
truth.
from.
No, that's great.
From Spirit coming
Yeah.
from us.
That was a great
Yeah.
segue into that because that's right. Let's
Yes.
Speaking your truth.
Yeah.
And Megan,
And that still kind of ties in with caring what people
it
think.
does, and that's what I wanted to also kind
Yes.
of bring it to you, Megan, because when it comes to caring what other people think, I've personally seen such a massive transformation in the years that we've been together, been married, and even when we were just dating, from someone, you're an amazing person all throughout it, but in the beginning, absolutely, and again, this is, her family's amazing, great people, so don't take it wrong.
So
but she
funny
was absolutely petrified to do anything that would maybe her family didn't think was right.
Like even silly things like my friends were saying when we were getting married, and this is not to call my, I love my family, but I've already said it, so.
Speaking your truth.
There you go. But it was like to do a honey fund, because we had a lot of stuff, so like there was nothing I wanted to ask, and I'm like, why not? What's wrong with asking for, doing a honey fund where people just, if they want to donate money to you, they can. They don't have to. But my family did not like that. They thought that was tacky, and I'm like, it's like the thing now. Like that's what people do. Like
so, yeah.
And so I took it down because I cared what they thought.
Yeah, the transformation from caring so much of people what your family thought to now living so beautifully in your truth, like she just really being your most authentic self, even if people don't agree with it, it's your truth. So if you could talk upon how you were, why you were in that place where you cared so much, and how did you transition into really being able to powerfully, authentically speak your truth now and not care?
Right.
Because so many out there are still in that place of caring what their family thinks or what people think.
I was very sheltered. I mean, like, my family was amazing. I keep saying that because it's true. They were. But, like, very protective. And, like, I don't know. They just always, made me, like, care about, like, which you should care about how you look and your impressions. You need to be polite and all these things. But to the point that I, like...
They put value in that, though. Like, too much value in that.
Right. Like, I literally, like, I was a people pleaser. I had to please everyone, and if I didn't please someone, it was devastating for me, you know? Affirmations, like, anyone that knows me knows that I, like, love positive affirmations because they work. They are, like, magic. It's amazing. And so, like, that got me so far, but I will say the thing that really did take that out of me was when the night that I did ayahuasca with 5-MeO DMT. From that moment on, I have not cared what other people think. So much so, like, let me put it in, let me put it in perspective for you and paint the picture. Maegical would not be born.
That's
okay?
Right.
We wouldn't be here right now if I cared what people thought, because my family, I love them. My mom gets it, but a lot of my family, they don't understand what I'm into and what we do. And and when it's, I was at the end of my rope, so I tried anything to heal, and I found what works. And I hope that one day they see this and they understand that, like, I'm speaking my truth. But I'm telling you right now, if I still cared what they thought,
you'd still be sick.
Well, but I would not be. I would not be doing this. I mean, I still had healing to do after I didn't care what people thought. So let's be fair there. But I mean,
But they're also like with plant medicine, psychedelics. They're very anti that also, and that was a part of it.
Right. Oh yeah. I mean, I told you the reason why I don't care what people think is because of that 5-MeO with the ayahuasca. I mean, it was a horrible experience, but the outcome was truly amazing. 100%.
And that transformation's been amazing, and she's right. I mean,
ayahuasca needs to call to you. I do want to say that.
That's true.
It's not for everyone. If there's a darkness in you, if you've ever been molested, of any kind of trauma, but specifically that kind of trauma, I can speak to. It's truly miraculous. But I also, in the beginning, I know this isn't an episode for plant medicine, so I'm not going to talk long on this, but I do want to just, since I brought this up, I did like a low dose, or medium dose, average dose of ayahuasca, and I did not get, because I had such horrible trauma, like I needed something to break through that wall, and so I had to do a high dose with that 5-MeO DMT, so I don't know if that has something to do with it as well, but I do believe in plant medicine, and it has been just life-changing for me.
Yep, that's an awesome point. And that's that fear of judgment too. That kind of ties into why when you do that, when you overcome those things, when you're able to speak your truth, live in your truth, amazing things can happen. I'll just give you my brief experience, being afraid of what other people think was, again, same thing. It tends to be with families. Again, nothing against my family either. Good people, just a lot of them have one way of thinking, are very, very anti-psychedelics. like actually the big rift, I'll even, share this with all of you, the big rift in my family right now, my dad's side and him is because nothing was working for me whenever I was having issues with my binge drinking. So I turned to plant medicine. It was actually mushrooms and other LSD, other psychedelics that I turned to that actually became hugely beneficial to me. And I was going through an awakening at that time, so I'll never forget the conversation that I had with my dad specifically. And he's like, "Are you doing mushrooms?" And I thought for a second, I was like, I could say no, and we're not going to have any conflict, and it'll go away, but it's not true. And my old self would have done that, but I was having such an awakening, and it was so beautiful. I was like, no, this is an amazing thing.
I'm going to be honest.
I'm going to be honest. I'm experiencing with mushrooms. It's been amazing, and it's been a great experience. And literally 5 years have passed, and there's been no conversation on his part since then. Didn't come to our wedding, but because I was so afraid to speak my truth about that, but because I overcame that, I went down that route, and I was able to overcome my alcoholic issues. I was able to become the person that I'm growing into today, and I am now. And yeah, it did cause that rift, and there is that, but it's not worth me not speaking my truth. If I didn't go that route, who knows? No one can tell the future. But that was a big part of what helped me become that sober person that doesn't drink, but also is creating these amazing things and is healthy and is happy, is genuinely happy. Yep. So it's not going to be an easy road to speak your truth and live your truth.
Right. But it'll be worth it.
But it is worth it.
And the highlight of your conversation here when you said toward the end, it's not going to be an easy road. It's going to be as easy as you allow it, guys.
That's a
Remember
good point.
that, okay? Yes. Well, another thing is that getting back to that self-sabotage. You see, self-sabotage, how we speak and how we say things. Yep. That also creates and attracts self-sabotage. Just an example here is that, you get up in the morning and say, "Oh my God, today I don't feel good." Okay, so you start self-sabotaging your day by thinking that and believing that. It's not true, guys.
And then that's going to be the day that you stub your toe and everything goes wrong because you're already setting the tone for the day.
So it's tied into that.
Yep.
You see that?
Yeah.
The wording, when you start witnessing and observing of what you say instantly that moment in time, then there's a transition there. I call it mental alchemy also. Yeah. Something rewires in our brain. Yeah. Because we're used to, the mind is used to seeing things repetitively, and it goes back, because I've even observed myself, I'm repetitive in certain things that I repeat.
That's why affirmations work if you're consistent with them.
Exactly. It can also be, in a sense, sabotaging, because you repeat them, something's going to happen.
Well, yeah, if it's not right.
Exactly.
Yep.
You're self-sabotaging is saying, I'm not worthy, So you're actually lying truly to yourself. Why? It's because everybody is worthy beyond what you ever think you are.
You know that you're blocking.
Yes.
You're blocking all these things that you want to be able to flow. They want to flow to you. All you have to do is align your energy with it. If you can learn to manipulate your energy, if you can tell I'm feeling off, and do whatever you do. If you need to align your chakras, breath work, whatever. I say an affirmation.
Right. Key word is just also another thing is getting back to the awareness, guys. Be aware at that moment. You see,
yes, that's the first step.
That's the first step. First step of awareness is that when you're aware, it transforms it instantly. It's not an impression. It doesn't go into the brain. You don't get rewired when that's transformation instantly.
I love the awareness. That's so good. That's so good.
When you're aware that you're lying to yourself, being deceitful to yourself, and you're aware that you're transforming instantly. That's as simple as it is.
And one thing that helped me be aware, and it goes back to affirmations, maybe at first you feel like you're lying to yourself, but you're just telling a new story that's going to show up the more that you tell it, right? But in the beginning you feel kind of crazy, but if you're consistent, from my experience, I was consistent with writing these affirmations, and I wasn't believing it, at all in the beginning. But with consistency, something eventually shifted. So then, whenever I would catch myself complaining about something, I all of a sudden became self-aware of it, and I was like, "Oh, I need to follow that with an affirmation." And that was when that was just the first step, and then it just got easier and easier and easier.
Yeah, you were writing the truth of you, but you weren't believing it because you were used to not believing it, but you were actually writing it. And then you use that tool, so that's a tool as transformation. There's so many different tools, guys.
I actually have I created a formula for transformational change. I have over a decade in the personal development space, and in one of the things I do with my coaching is I explain the formula for transformational change. Well, it's funny you said awareness. The first 2 steps to making change in your life, period, in my experience anyway, that I've noticed on thousands of people, is radical self-awareness, the first thing, and then right after that, radical self-responsibility. Realizing it's nothing external that's going to change it. You got to be the one to make the change. Become aware, then take. Exactly.
What we're talking about. Absolutely.
Yep. That's a huge part of it. And I want to note something too. We mentioned, there was we talked about, I guess, a bit of the negatives. When you start speaking your truth and you become over through the judgment, people may kind of move away. But a beautiful thing that has happened that you start to realize when you step into that truth, when you take that leap, when you start speaking your truth, while certain people, whether it's friends, family, whoever, may start to drift away, what does drift into your life is your soul family.
Absolutely.
Which
true.
In my experience is actually been much more profound, much more impactful, and much more connective than, not all the time, this is just in my experience with family. My soul family that I'm beginning to connect with now.
It's like the first time you talk, you instantly
thing.
connect.
It's like you've known them forever. And your soul family gets attracted to you when you start stepping into your truth.
When you raise your vibration, you start attracting higher vibrational people and circumstances anyway.
Oh, absolutely.
It's unavoidable. It's just a law. There's the greatest law that exists is love is.
Yep.
So it's not to search that love exterior of us. It's a law that it is that we are that.
Yes.
And when we accept that within us. So it's not to seek out the truth out there, is that we are truth. So anything that we search out to, we are actually that, like peaceful. One of the things that here I have to elaborate a little bit on, you were talking about the positive end of it. Okay? Like in my case, the more I was aware of what I said and what I was self-deception part of it, the more I would transcend that, and then the peaceful and the more tranquil life, right now, and it's beautiful. Even with this pandemic here, I have to humbly say, that I have been the most peaceful person that I have been so many years. Why?
That's awesome.
It's because we are also being truthful of what to ourselves, that we're here to express ourselves and share that we have this opportunity, that whatever fear it is, yes, we know, guys, it's a fact, and so forth. Whatever it is there, but if you can allow it to impact you, but one thing is key here, the awareness of that this is going to increase your peace that you already are, and you're going to be at ease with anything that you're confronted with. You're not going to be reactive with anymore, right? Because
that's a big one, being reactive.
You're not going to be attracting that doesn't serve you for most highest and holy.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that I always say. You see, so you're being truthful to yourself. You're reliving an example of what truth is. Of course, we have each one of us have our individual soul or divine obligation or journey, right? And the thing is that, but we are a human species. We are a whole one creation.
Yeah.
So the reason and where we're here now at this moment now, that and there's a chaos there. That is a reality within itself. But is it truly a reality within us?
Right.
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 So that's the key, and how you can not to try to cope with it, because it's too much work, guys. Try to cope. How can I cope with this, Richard? Well, you're trying to do a task. When you try to do a task, that's a lot of work. Sooner or later, you're going to get tired.
Yeah.
Right.
You understand that? Again, coming back to the awareness is going to be transformation, and then you're going to be checking yourself. And then you're going to be aware also of what you speak and what you say as soon as you see it. And then usually what happens, I've been noticing it even with myself, even how I talk, there's highlights of words that just don't go and coincide with the message that while I'm feeling.
Yeah.
Do you understand that? Yeah, so you will see the highlight of like, oh, I will try to do this. Well, why try so much work? Just accept it. You see, accept that you are loved. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to care for myself. Well, you don't try, because that's that in itself. If you try, guys, it's too much work. So don't try. Just do it. You see, and that's where the sincerity
That's
of
where
who you are.
I am comes in instead of I will.
Exactly, and that's the sincerity of what we've always been, and we're living from the heart, where we express ourselves accordingly without us doing any effort. And then another subject that later on we're going to have an episode, effortless living.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
'cause that's where it's at.
That's been a tough one for me, and I'm as of right now, even to give you all a little hint, I'm learning.
Why has it been tough?
Because I
you
made it
think it is.
myself.
Because
I made
you
it
think
tough
it
on
is.
myself. Richard's actually helping me with that right now, because I grew up, and it's one of my unraveling onion things I need to still work on in myself. Is I've always work hard, grind. I did door to door when I was a teenager, worked super hard, grew a door to door business, and I've always been such a grinder, hitting 200-300 doors a day, Marine Corps, military, college. Like, I've always been like an ultra hard worker, which there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But what I'm starting to learn is when you get in alignment with this flow,
Tap into that.
you tap into that,
and flow
you
frequency.
tap into it.
Absolutely.
You don't have to grind your head against the wall to
You're
make
in the
things
right place
happen.
at the right
And that's something I'm
time.
still working on to this day to become.
Come to be that you already are.
Right? Yeah.
You see, because we cannot become anything that we're not.
Yeah.
You see, that's the simplicity of that.
Yeah.
You see, and it all comes out to that term of simplicity, guys. Everything's simple.
Yep.
You know when it's difficult, guys? When you think about it.
Yeah, right.
That's when it becomes
So-
difficult. And it only becomes difficult in the mind, because in reality it's not.
That's beautiful. And that's so step into your truth, be your most authentic self.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to speak your truth.
Question everything.
Question everything.
Stop caring what other people think.
And you know,
Because it doesn't matter.
and you're gonna attract your people. You're gonna attract your team.
Absolutely.
You're gonna attract your divine team. If you're watching this right now, it's a message for you. It's time to step
Absolutely.
into your truth.
Yes.
Here's your
the
sign.
time is now, right now.
Yeah.
And you know the beautiful
Yes.
thing about that, when you start doing that, even though if the work it takes to unravel the conditioning, when you start to
Right.
do that, it also leads you to your purpose.
Yes. One
Yes.
other thing is here, guys, we're here. We're here to assist as much as we want to reach out to each and one of us. And I
Yes.
think we're going to also put a little bit of our websites and stuff
Oh,
like that.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, like that individually. Wherever you pull to, this is very important, guys, is not to be attracted to what we said. It's what you feel individually of who you're called to. That's why we're here. And likewise, that's why I think it would be a good idea to put individual and then
Yeah.
collectively
Oh,
where they can
absolutely.
reach out to us and where to find us.
Absolutely, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the last thing I wanted to end on and talk about was the fact that when you do this, and just to reiterate and bring home the point of why it's so important to live authentically, be your true self, don't care what people think, and you get rid of that fear-based mindset, is it will lead you to your, he calls it divine obligation, your
Yes.
purpose.
Yep.
And when you are stepping into your purpose, it is the most
You're gonna feel
fulfilling
so good.
thing. You will find your healing.
Yes.
You will find
Your
you will find your
passion.
passion, your purpose. Every soul out there has a purpose, deserves to live a healed,
Everyone has
happy,
gifts
abundant
they've
life.
been blessed with.
Everyone has that. There's no one out there that doesn't have that.
And the world needs it.
Yes,
Who's going to control what you experience yourself?
Yep.
that's absolutely right.
And, you know, you were limitless. People,
Yes.
you know, the only limits we have are the ones we put on ourselves.
Absolutely.
Yep,
You know, so
Love
let
it.
it go.
Yes.
that's right.
Let it go.
I love that phrase. I mean, kind of, I think we're pretty close to here, as far as time.
Yeah.
You know, let it go.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah, you let go. I mean, why we've carried enough. I call it junk in our trunk. So
Yeah.
why add on more?
So if you have that, let it go. We are so grateful to be here to
Yeah.
share this with
And,
you.
and,
Yes.
and
A
don't
website,
suppress
where
things.
can we reach?
Understand that you have to
posted it,
go
yes.
back
Yes.
and feel it in order to heal it. And then when you do that, you can release it from your energetic body, your soul, your physical body, and then you
Absolutely.
can truly enjoy living.
Yes.
That's it. Well, we're excited. We're so excited to continue this series. We're going to be every other Saturday. We're going to be doing a live show.
Yes.
And to give you a little bit about what we do, I do life purpose coaching as well as business coaching and leadership coaching. Megan is an incredible healer. I've never known or experienced someone with all the healing abilities that she has. So she's a healer. You can speak on about what you do if you'd like.
Yeah. I'm all about reprogramming the mind.
The subconscious mind.
Because that controls like 95% of your day, right? So I have a service that's called Meditate and Affirmate, and that's where I find out your dreams, your goals, your worries, your fears, so I can flip the script on those things. And I write a new story. I write a guided meditation with lots of affirmations, a lot of inspirational meaning behind it. I time it to amazing music. And then you have that to play for the next 30 days every night as you go to sleep to reprogram your mind. And then let's do a new one. I love doing trauma breath work. Breath work is amazing. You can get the DMT flowing through your body.
Do a whole episode on breath.
Downloads, healing, align the chakras, right? It's amazing.
We're going to do an episode on
and
breath work.
And then, I have a lot of fun doing angel readings. That's,
cool.
And coaching
and
as well.
Yep, we're going to put all the links up there for us,
we're doing couples coaching as well, where you can actually, get the services together as a couple. Yep. So it's awesome.
And Richard's an incredibly talented psychic.
I can't tell you how amazing this guy is.
Appreciate you guys.
It's insane.
So I think Davis, after he'll be able to post different links so you can reach out to individually to us. Collectively. I know we're gonna do also some different type of packages and stuff collectively. Here in the near creative future that hasn't still not here, but we will create that for you guys.
That's right.
Oh, one other thing I want to say, because I didn't mention the energy healing. I love working with humans, but I gotta say, if you have some fur babies that need some healing, I'm your gal.
And I'm your gal. That's another episode there, guys.
This one, I've never known anyone to love animals as much as this one. She actually works and heals animals, animal communicator, everything. Well, thank you for joining us. We are so grateful for every one of you. Look, there is so much love and light and hope within you. Don't give up. Keep fighting. It's all going to work out. We have love for every one of you. Thank you for joining us in our first episode of Magical Mind and Soul. Yeah,
living without a script.
All right, happy healing, everyone.